This could go down as one of the greatest revenge stories of all time. It's Brooke and Jubal in the morning. And whenever somebody wrongs you, whether it's a friend or a coworker or a spouse, your first instinct is to lash out and get revenge. And I just want to say, here at Brooke and Jubal in the morning, we support your desire to retaliate.
Okay, guys, we
actually
don't.
encourage it. In fact, we've been voted most vengeful morning show in the country for the last 4 years running. The only award that we're proud of.
That part's true, but the first part, questionable.
We also believe that when you lash out, you shouldn't just get even. The best revenge is when you actually come out on top. And that's why I think we can all take a lesson from one woman in Los Angeles, California, who may have the best revenge story of all time. Her name is Mia, and recently Mia's husband told her, after 27 years of marriage, that he was leaving her for his new mistress.
Oh, gosh. I can't imagine what that feels like. 27 years of marriage.
He also informed her that he would be kicking her out of their house, which they had purchased together as newlyweds, and the mistress would be moving in. Out with the old, in with the new.
Oh, Mia, do not lay down and take that.
So Mia was obviously devastated, especially because she had raised kids in that house and made a lot of memories there.
Yeah, and it's her home. That's her home, man.
Not anymore. New lady's home. Mistress's home.
Gross.
But her husband made her a financial offer that she couldn't refuse, so she accepted the money deal and agreed to move out so that he could have the house with his mistress.
All right.
Money talks.
Yeah.
And on her last night in the home, Mia decided to celebrate with a huge bottle of champagne and a giant platter of shrimp, caviar, and oysters.
Ooh, way to go, Mia.
It was a good
Might as well
one.
go out with a party, you know?
Hello.
Yeah.
The next day, Mia's husband and his young mistress moved in, and things were going perfectly for about a week. And then something changed.
Uh-oh.
That's when they started noticing an awful smell
Oh, no.
throughout the entire house.
Oh, what'd you do?
It was pungent, rotten, and ammonia scented, they say.
Oh, like chemical.
It was in every single room of the house, too.
What?
And they couldn't figure out what was causing it. At first, they thought maybe an animal had gotten into the attic and died. So they brought in exterminators and found nothing. Then they thought maybe it was mold. So they brought in a mold specialist, and no mold was found.
Okay, that's already a lot of money they're in.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
They're in debt big time at this point. They're spending
Yeah.
a lot. They cleaned all the carpets, replaced the entire central air and heating system. Again, it's expensive.
Wow, that is expensive.
they replaced it all? I thought for sure it was like fish in the ventilation system, and that didn't even work.
They even installed an expensive ozone generator for the air filter to try to get rid of the smell. But no matter what they did, nothing got rid of the stench. And soon, the husband and his mistress were having fights because of it.
Yeah. I mean, nobody. Can you imagine living with a scent? I mean, they described it as a scent of a dead animal in your house
Drive you
24/7. And
crazy.
obviously for a while if they got all that work done in the meantime.
Right? The only thing that's changed is you moved in. It's got to
Yeah.
be you. I didn't know you smelled like rotting animal. They were frustrated and disgusted, obviously, because they couldn't figure out where the smell was coming from or why it smelled so bad. So they decided to put the house on the market and just move on.
Oh my
God.
god,
And-
that's extreme.
Well, and how do you sell a house that stinks?
That's exactly
Everyone that comes in, I mean, you're not going to be able to sell it for any money.
That's exactly what the real estate agent told them. The horrible stench is going to be a major problem for prospective buyers
Yeah.
and would drive the price down considerably, but they didn't care. They just wanted to get out.
There's a sign outside.
my
Must
God.
have no sense of smell.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Hazmat suit available. Here's your gas mask to tour the home.
Finally, they got an offer on the house. It was extremely low, but they needed the funds to move out and had no other offers, obviously, because the place smelled so bad. So they took that extremely lowball offer,
Oh my god.
and it turns out that offer was from Mia, the ex-wife,
Shut
who
up.
wound up purchasing her house back at a huge discount.
Oh my god.
And also,
Mia!
remember,
why are you
he
so
made her
smart?
a financial offer, so the money she's using to buy the house was the money he gave her to leave her house so the mistress could move in.
So he bought her the house.
And this
Pretty
is
much.
all legal.
And
Mia, you're so
I
smart.
love her.
the day Mia moved back in, she also brought a ladder with her, set it down in front of the window, and every single room in the house. and one by one pulled apart the curtain rods and brushed out the bits of decomposing shellfish and blobs of decaying caviar and oyster meat that she had stuffed inside the curtain rods the night she moved out.
That is so genius.
her
Why
last
would
day-
you ever think of putting it in the curtain rods?
So smart.
Oh my God! So she bought herself a seafood dinner and then used half of
Yes.
it to. Oh
Yep,
my God!
to put it in the curtain rods
Yes.
so it would smell so bad so that they would have to sell the house. Then she bought it at a huge discount and then got rid of the meat in the curtain rods, probably the curtain rods too.
Amazing.
I thought the only way she would have been able to do that was to put it in the ventilation system. And when you said they got rid of that, I'm like, what?
Nope, the curtain rods.
Oh my gosh.
Hands down, one of the most genius revenge stories ever. Congratulations to her and her new,
man.
beautifully smelling home.
What do you think the ex-husband thinks when he's reading this story?
Oh God! He's
Yeah.
crying.
He's pretty sad that he cheated on his wife and asked her
Yeah.
to move out at this point, I'm sure.
I bet he's never going to eat shellfish again.
It would take somebody very smart and vindictive to pull that off.
Yeah,
And I'm willing to bet we have a few smart and vindictive listeners out there who are vengeful enough to do something similar.
Ooh.
So if you have a great revenge story, whether it's with a friend, a coworker, or a significant other, we'd love to hear it. Do you think you can top that revenge story?
Yes.
Try. Call us
man.
866-668-4692. Text us 78592. What's your best revenge story? We'll take your calls and your texts right after this. It's Brooke and Jubal in the morning. Got a text in at 78592 that says, my ex-boyfriend cheated on me with one of my coworkers.
Oh man.
So I convinced him to get matching back tattoos of dragons with our names above them. He went first, and then I left. It's Brooke and Jubal in the morning, asking you for your best revenge
That's pretty
story.
good, man.
We just read a story about a woman who got the ultimate revenge on her ex-husband by actually planting old shellfish in the curtain rods so that the home he was in stunk so bad he and his mistress had to move out. Then she bought the home at a discounted rate
Yep.
and got new curtain rods, and now she's living in the house.
And a remodel, pretty much.
And we have
Right,
a
exactly.
ton of text messages and a ton of phone calls. Kevin, what's your ultimate revenge story?
Kevin?
Kevin, are you there?
He's getting revenge.
He's
on
getting
me.
Yeah.
revenge on us right now.
I
He's
called
like, you
into
had a
morning
radio
show."
contest
Yeah.
one time and I didn't win. So guess what? Now I'm just going to call up and not talk.
How do we fall for it?
Let's try this then. Julia, what's your ultimate revenge story?
Okay, so I've got a story that I'm pretty proud of, actually.
Okay.
Hey, guys. A few years ago, I had this boss who sucked. She was pretty mean, and she would make up these really stupid rules just to, like, assert her power.
Like you have to be
Anyway,
at work on
15
Wednesday? I hate that rule.
I know. I hate that
Right?
rule, too.
Okay, so anyway,
So-
sorry.
One of the things is that she really hates the smell of popcorn, so she banned microwave popcorn from the office.
Oh my God, I worked in an office like that.
Yeah, I did too.
I
I had a
did.
boss who did that too.
Yes.
Shut up. Who doesn't like the smell
Yes.
of popcorn?
No, because it stays in the microwave forever, according to them, and that no matter what
cares?
you microwave, it's going to still smell like popcorn. But
Weird.
continue.
Okay,
Sorry.
all
Yeah,
right.
but you can't just ban popcorn.
Well,
Thank you.
it's
So-
more common than you think, okay? What'd you do to your boss?
So I came up with this plan. I got one of those little diffusers that plugs into a USB drive,
Uh-huh.
and I got it to one that smelled like buttered popcorn.
Uh-huh.
And so I just plugged it into the back of her computer, like at her desk, and it took her like 5 months to figure out what was going on because it was just emitting this little aroma of buttered popcorn from her desk.
That's
Is it a
awesome.
Not
USB?
figure it
And
out.
what did she do when she found the USB drive? Was everybody in the office in trouble?
I don't think she figured out who did it.
Really?
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
If you don't know who did it, what are you gonna
Yeah,
do?
you can't like fire everybody because somebody put a USB drive that smells like popcorn.
I once worked with a news anchor who was real type A. And so I snuck into the newsroom toilets and put white shoe polish all over the toilet that she used.
Oh, that's
You
awesome.
can't see it. Yeah.
Oh.
And she sat on it in the morning before the morning show, which is like 3:30 in the morning. And you can't get that stuff off your body.
Oh no.
She was so mad that
Yeah,
day.
she was.
Dang.
And poor camera people, because I guarantee they're the ones that were getting yelled at.
Hey, I was one of them, so
Well,
it's
there
fine.
you go. You're like, I know exactly why she's yelling at me today.
Yep.
And that's fine because I got revenge. Hey, Angela, what's your best revenge story?
Okay, I've got a good one. So one of the guys that I used to date would send me inappropriate pics of himself all the time while I was at work.
Uh-huh.
And and I said several times, please do not do this. And he thought it was hilarious, so he just kept sending and sending and sending.
Oh, man.
So-
Like while you're in a meeting or something?
Yeah, it's horrible. I mean, like I had to act like nothing was happening, and it was popping up on the face of my phone. It's ridiculous.
You're telling me like 10:30 in the morning is not the best time to receive those kind of pictures?
Are you saying oops, Jubal?
Yeah, no time is the best time, but definitely not work hours.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So what'd you
So,
do?
okay, so what I did was one day when he was in the shower, I went into his phone and I changed my contact number and switched it with his mom.
Shut
That's
up.
awesome.
Oh, no.
That is
Yeah.
so
He
genius.
sent his mom some naked pics.
Oh, yeah, she saw her son in a whole new way that day.
Shut
Great
up.
idea.
Oh my god, that's so smart.
That's a really, really good
And I
idea.
bet he
Brutal.
never has sent a naked pic since.
No, yeah.
To anyone.
That
Yeah.
actually paid it forward to so many women out there.
Oh
Oh
my,
my god, that's so smart. Or he really enjoyed it. And then you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
there's even more issues.
Or the mom sent
Yep.
back like a winky face.
Yeah.
And now that relationship just got really strained. Hey, Jeff, you have a revenge story?
Yeah. I got one about my a coworker of mine that he's a little strange and nobody really likes him at work. So this guy brings his lunch every day. Most of the people in my office bring their lunch. We have the community room, the community fridge, you know?
Uh-huh.
For sure.
So he brings his lunch in this giant metal box, like one of those like ammo boxes. Like he's one of those weird guys that like puts his lunch in one of those.
Oh, he's got like a lunch pail?
Yeah, like those big heavy metal
Big.
ones.
Yeah, like the construction worker ones.
Why do I
Right,
feel like you're
exactly.
already bullying your coworker? But continue.
Either way. So everyone else brings it, you know, Tupperware. I brown bag it. I don't have a lunchbox. I'm not 12 years old, you know?
Oh, you're above the lunchbox. Okay.
So this guy with his big metal lunchbox, he just kind of rams it right into the fridge. Doesn't even like clear a path. And then when he does it, he usually smashes somebody's lunch. He's done mine a couple times.
Oh, 'cause he
He's
doesn't
done my
move.
buddies a couple times.
Okay.
Just like makes a mess too. Doesn't even care.
Right, so he just slams his big old construction worker lunchbox into everything.
Yeah.
Still just doesn't sound like enough for revenge to me, but what did you do to him?
You beat him to death with
Yeah.
that lunchbox.
I mean,
That's what,
I feel like you need to chill out, man.
yeah. What'd you
Not
do?
that bad. Not that bad. I mean, like it ruins your lunch. Who wants to eat the
Okay.
a
Right.
mashed peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
So
Okay.
what'd you do?
So like we had left notes, somewhat passive aggressive notes in the fridge, being like, "Hey, just be careful of other people's lunches in here." But I don't think he understood that he was doing it or didn't care.
Okay.
All right.
So
So-
instead of asking him to stop, you did.
beat him to death with his lunchbox. I'm just waiting for you to go there.
Yeah.
No? Okay.
Not quite that far.
All right, what'd
So-
you do?
So one day I had finally had enough of it. So I got in there around like 10 before lunch. His lunchbox was in there, and I took his lunch out, took it out of his lunchbox,
Uh-huh.
took it out to the parking lot, put his contents of his lunch behind the tire of my car, and ran it over a couple of times, get it nice and smush.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then put it back in his lunchbox?
Yes, exactly. Very precisely packed it all in there.
So wait, and you're the one that was saying he was acting like he was 12 for having a lunchbox, or
Wait, hold on. Did he eat
So,
it?
yeah, did he eat the smashed lunch?
As far as I know, I put it back in the fridge, put it back in. Nobody said anything. As far as I know, he ate it. He didn't call anyone out. He didn't leave a note.
yeah? I'm gonna
but-
go with
Yeah, this
you're
revenge
kind
story.
of a bully and
Yeah.
not very nice.
This is one of those stories you should end with. And then I found $20.
Yep.
You know?
Nobody wants their lunch ruined here, so.
Yeah.
All right, well,
All
Either
right.
way, he doesn't put his lunchbox in the fridge anymore. So.
Well-
Hey,
Yeah.
that's good.
He
got
just,
the job done.
just cries every time he has to show up to work because you're so mean to him. But
Hey.
okay.
666-668-4692. Text in 78592. What's the best revenge you've ever gotten on anybody? Carla, you have a good revenge story?
I do have a good revenge story.
Is it better than that one?
Yeah, Carla's like, there's a
It
guy
is
with a
way-
lunchbox.
It is way better than the guy with the lunchbox.
It's going to be tough to get better than that.
People are just texting
So-
me. That last story sucked.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue,
So,
Carla.
Carla, let's see if you can beat that really long, boring story.
Okay, I'll make it short and sweet.
All right.
So my boyfriend of several years ended up cheating on me and kicked me out of my house. The only place I had to go was out of state.
Okay.
So when I went to the post office to put in my change of address, I had a brilliant idea and put in a change of address for him too.
Okay.
And I changed his address to his work address, his physical work address,
All right.
without him knowing about it. As soon as I arrived in Arizona and got off the bus, the first thing I did was pick up a Playboy magazine and use his credit card to order every item in the back of the Playboy
Shut
magazine and had
up.
it sent.
That's odd to his office.
To his office.
Well,
Did you ever
that
hear
is
an update?
amazing.
Did you ever hear an update from him on that? Did he hit you up and ask you about it?
Oh yeah. He kind of figured it out. Like it took him about a week to figure out why all this stuff was coming to his work. But then he started getting real mail at his work, and he put
And
it all
Oh
together.
my
But it took him.
So it's,
Dude, and no
And
matter what he
nothing-
said, no one believed him that he didn't order that
No,
stuff. I'm sorry.
Right. Nobody. No. And there was like fetish things coming in and, all kinds of weird, kinky, off the wall. I mean, I ordered every single item that was for sale in the back of the Playboy magazine.
good revenge, but also you might have helped him find a new hobby too. So he might actually really have appreciated what you did for him. Keep texting in 78592. Don't forget, Brook and Jubal's direct deposit is still on. Be calling out a name in about 5 minutes to win some money. If you want to hear more about it, we've got fancy radio people and sound effects to tell you more about it right now. Listen.
Move at 92.5.
Brooke and Jubal.